Story time. As you can see from the title, I'm gonna talk about some stuff. How did I get into box trucking, straight truck, whatever you guys want to call it? Americans call it box truck. Canadians and probably the rest of the world calls it a straight truck. There's different types. Like I said, there's the tandem that has the air brakes and stuff like that. Mine doesn't have air brakes, nor does it have DEF, or how some people call it DEF, a different type of fuel. So I don't have to deal with those problems on my truck at all. Thank God. Right? So how did I get into this? Well, let's see. Where do we start? So like I was saying, I had to switch spots. Sorry about that. How did I get started in this industry? Well, should I take you way back? I was about 18, 19 when I first started driving truck. I drove for a company moving food and stuff like that, food products to different daycares and whatnot. Got out of that, years went by. Then I was talking to my brother-in-law because he had two trucks. So I was talking to him and I was like, how's business going? He's like, yo, it's good, but I got this asshole driver. He's running into fences. He's not doing things. He's not taking care of the truck. So I said to him, yo, get rid of that guy. I'll drive for you, right? So he got rid of him, called me on board, and then I started driving for him. So I believe roughly within a month or so, I seen the potential of driving a truck. So I said to him, I was like, bro, in a year time from now, I'm gonna buy my own truck. Are you cool with that? He goes, not a problem. I'm never gonna stop somebody from eating food, right? And nobody should. So the year came, bought my truck, got it at a great price. I got it off of was it Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, whatever. Got it for a great price, low kilometers, all that kind of stuff. Jumped into it, started working at the same company that my brother-in-law is working at. That turned out good, but I didn't really like the pay. We started looking at the pay structure, and I realized I can probably do better on my own. I'm a natural born hustler from day one. So I drove for them for a little bit. Then my truck had broke down, my tailgate broke down, and the company that I took it to said, oh, it'll probably be fixed within 2 weeks or so. We got to order the parts, whatever. It took them almost 2 months to order that part. They were dicking me around, not sure why, but I got dicked around. So as that time was passing, I was taking the opportunity to try find some leads, some jobs outside of the company that we were working for. So they finally fixed the truck. 2 months later, the company called me and said, hey, you coming back to work? I was like, nah, I'm not coming back. So I left them. But as I left them, God knows you shouldn't do this, but I did it anyways. I took one of their customers. I know it's taboo, you shouldn't do it, but I was just starting out. So I took one of their customers, meaning that I handed out my business card. I said, hey, I have my own truck. If you want to call me, maybe we can work some prices out for you. That'll be better. Not a problem. They called me like 2 days later. So I didn't know if this was a setup or anything, but they called me 2 days later. So I get there and he's like, hey, we got to pick up here in Mississauga and we're going to go to Waterloo. So I said, okay, no problem. Picked up, it was a full truckload, went to Waterloo, dropped it off. And then he's like, I got to pick up from Waterloo coming back to Mississauga. So we did that. At the end of the delivery, he goes, how much is that? I didn't know what to charge. I honestly didn't know what to charge. So I said, we'll just do $20 a skid. He's like, are you crazy? That was your time. That was driving and your fuel. You got to charge minimum 30 a skid. So I was like, 30 a skid, okay. But it's for you, it's the first time. He's like, no, business is business. So I said, all right, so $30 a skid. 12 one way, 12 coming the next way. So I was like, all right, this is nice. So we did that. And then he called me the next day and the next day. And then he started to give out my business card to his friends that are in the same industry. So they started calling me and it just went on from there. My name just kept getting out there. My reputation was good already. I was dealing with decent pricing at the time. And this is 4 years ago, mind you. So he showed me the ropes and then I met another lady. The another lady that I met, I got this one from my other brother-in-law who has 5 trucks. So he called me and he's like, Mr. CEOs, I got this lady here. Give her a call. She'll tell you where to meet her, how much skids. You work out your own pricing. I said, all right, not a problem. I get there and I tell her the price that I already learned. And she's like, no, that's too much. We got to do this way and this way. So because I'm so new and I'm trying to build my clientele, I said, okay, we'll do it. We worked out some number. I don't remember what the number was, but we worked it out. It was a couple different drops. So I wasn't getting paid by the skid load. I was getting paid by the delivery. And the delivery were all close together. So it wasn't too far. So I did that and it worked out. I knew I was sort of getting stiff with the pricing a little bit, but she was a very nice lady. She paid on time. There was no arguments about that. Until today, she'll call me out the blue once in a while, and I still honor the same price that I gave her in the beginning. I won't change because those two people, they really helped me out. They passed my name on to so many different people in this industry. It's ridiculous. And as of today, I'm sitting on about 22 vendors. 22 vendors call me. And that's amazing. Starting from nothing. Starting from, you know what, driving for my brother-in-law, reaching out to him, telling him I'm going to buy my own truck, to taking one customer from the company that we worked at. And look, here I am today. Amazing. Got to give thanks. That's all I can do is got to give thanks. But yeah, that's what made me get into trucking. Like I said, it was money. It was money. It was comfortability. You know what I'm trying to say. I was in a position where I wanted to be comfortable in life. I wanted my family to be okay. I wanted to get certain things and get ahead. Mind you, I'm coming out of retail. So I worked for major brand companies in retail. And it was a person that actually came to me. I was in the gym. A person came to me and said, if you work so hard at your job for others, why not work for yourself? Right? Paul, thank you, man. I remember that. I remember that conversation deeply. You run around so much, why not run around for yourself? So I thought about that. And then another gentleman used to come in and buy black t-shirts from this company that I was working at. And he goes, you know what, you're the manager, right? I go, yeah, I am. He's like, I can tell you set yourself apart from all the rest of them. You should consider running your own store. So that was the second person that told me that. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I went home, talked to the wife, and I realized I can run my own store. So what did we do? Took a leave of absence, opened up CEO's boutique, which is where the name come from. CEOs stands for Creative Expression of Style. So it was a clothing brand. It was a clothing store. It was a boutique, right? So I opened that, ran that for a little bit. Then the pandemic was coming, and we seen it. We seen what was happening to the market. So we got out of that. And as I got out of that, that's when I had called my brother-in-law, like I told you in the beginning. So it's like everything worked out. I was looking at life differently by others telling me, hey, try this. It might be better. Try on your own. And yeah, you'll get those nerves where you'll be like, shit, that's a lot of money you got to invest. What if it doesn't work out? But guess what? It's a chance. It's a risk. Those are things that you have to take. If you don't take those risks, you'll never know what the reward is, right? You have to fail to know where you went wrong and what you can do better in life. That's something that we definitely learned. When I say we, my wife and I, we've gone through the ups and downs, and you know what? CEOs is still here. It might not be CEO's boutique, but it's CEO's logistics. So the name is still alive. Funny story. A gentleman that walked into my store when I had the store, he came in and he said to me, hey, I got a clothing brand. Do you mind if I put it in your store? His name's Nishi. So I said, yeah, man, go ahead for sure. Why not? So we started rocking together, put his brand in the store, brand's doing good. And as I was closing, he said to me, don't let your brand die. Whatever you do, don't let your brand die. And I that stuck with me. That stuck with me for a while. So as I was doing the trucking and I went over to CEO's Logistics, I was still selling brand, but this time I was letting CEO's brand sell itself. So CEO's toques, CEO's sweaters, CEO's socks. The socks took off, the toques took off, the fitteds took off. And I was like, this is nice. So now I incorporated the two where I'm a trucker, but I do have merch to sell. Man, I'm telling you, it's a good story, man. I'm happy where I am. There's ups and downs in this industry for sure. I'll leave that for the next sit down that we have. But for the most part, this is where I came from. I came from retail. I originally did trucking way back when. Then I did retail, and from retail I got into my own store. From my own store, I got into trucking. 4 years later, it's amazing. So I'm happy. Hopefully you're happy for me too. But this is just a little testimony of where I'm coming from. So till the next video, peace.